right, man. I'm gonna hit live. Oh, actually, we might be live. I I guess it may have started. Welcome everybody to the live stream. It looks like. Let me just double check here that we are live, and you can probably let me know in the chat. Yes, okay, we are live. That is awesome. Basically, I had to run into the house just a second ago to grab a battery for the light behind me, and we got it. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to Carlos and Angie and Jordan and oh my goodness, Johnny. And can you hear me? That's always a good question. It looks like you can because you're waving hello. Ronan's here. Awesome. Mary, Daniel, very cool. Good to see everybody streaming in. And let's see. And let me just look at the back end here. Awesome, cool. Good to see everybody. Okay, everyone can see. Very good. All right. Well, so I'm going to we're gonna dive in tonight. I'm interviewing my brother. And a lot of, if you've been watching the channel for a while now, you know that it's been a little bit of a challenge to figure out the live streaming where I interview someone. So basically, I'm using a little webcam instead of a nice camera, so the quality of the image might be just a little lower, but that's okay. It's the audio that counts. And awesome. Oh my goodness. And yes, let's ask right now, where is everybody from? Oh, great. It sounds like everybody can hear me and sound is synced. And then I'm going to bring my brother on screen here in a minute. Awesome. Very cool. Welcome, everyone. Kurt's here. Dylan. Okay. So, let's see. And yeah, let us know where you're from. Rainy, New Jersey. Awesome. So, all right, I'm just gonna bring Joseph on screen real quick. This is my brother Joseph. There you say hello to everyone, Joseph.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I live up in, I live in Denver, but Joseph, where are you located?
I'm up in Carbondale. It's kind of on the western slope of Colorado, a couple hours from Denver.
Yeah. And now, if everyone in the chat could let us know, can you hear Joseph? Is he sounding good? Nice. Columbus, Indiana is in the house. Longmont, Colorado, Cincinnati, deep South Texas, Mexico, Raul, Joseph. We're talking international here. Our Koch says, nice hat, Joseph. Nice. Okay, so I'm getting messages that everyone can hear you as well, so that's good news. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna tell this story, but I decided to jump in, and so here we go. I'm gonna start with this story, and it connects to Joseph, and basically, and let's see. So just so you know, I'm figuring out the back end of this live streaming business as well. So I'll be switching back and forth between my brother and I throughout, because somehow you're supposed to be able to split screen, but I haven't been able to figure that out yet. So basically, after college, I took a break from running. I was running maybe 2 to 3 days a week, and just I thought basically the competitive days were in the rearview mirror for me. But then my brother reached out to me and basically said, "Hey, would you like to go run some mountains this summer up where we used to grow up, where we grew up at in Buena Vista, Colorado?" And it's this crazy mountain adventure called Nolan's 14. And anyway, just so you know, YouTube, I'm not sure if this channel this YouTube channel would exist if it wasn't for Joseph. So I want to give a shout, and I really mean that, because my running, the competitive running, was kind of in the rear view. Me, like, I was still running, but it was just like very casual. It wasn't like what I'm doing now. And so, Joseph, I just want you to know that the mountain adventure lit the fire again.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
So, all right, and let's do this. So, Joseph, let's rewind a little bit. Where did you, how did you discover running, and when was that?
I mean, yeah, kind of a long family story, family history. Our parents met through running in Durango, Colorado, and they had a pretty legit crew of runners down there. And I think just growing up and hearing about their stories, I mean, our dad he was one of the first people to do the rim to rim to rim Grand Canyon run, which, in the last 2 years or so has gotten a lot of attention. And so that's kind of our history with it. And I think watching you run, that was really kind of the main motivation when I was, coming up in middle school and in high school and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. So for everyone out there, my dad went to Fort Lewis in Durango, and yeah, it was a big running crew down there. Anyway, so now, when was it in high school, probably high school specifically, when was it that you thought to yourself, wow, I may have found something that I'm good at here? When was that? Do you remember a moment, like maybe freshman year or what? Yeah.
I would say it's
Or
actually
later.
quite a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit later. If I pinpoint a specific moment, would probably track season junior year. We won the 4x8 my junior year, 4x8 relay, and that just really, yeah, I think that motivated me for the next couple years, and that was kind of a moment where I, yeah, really kind of experienced that high of winning at a high level, and yeah, that really motivated me, and yeah, I think that's kind of the main moment that really sparked it for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now, okay, I'm here. I'm seeing your messages about the audio. Thank you for that, everybody. I will, yeah, just let us know if you can't hear us, but it sounds like you can now. Now, there's a lot of high schoolers that watch the vlog and watch the channel, and so could you walk us through your progression of mileage as a high school? Yeah, you could dabble a little bit in middle school as well, but like, what was your progression of volume in high school?
Kind of like we talked about in that, kind of semi informal interview that we did. I did pretty low mileage early on in high school, like 20-25 miles a week. And then by the time of senior year, it was probably about 45 miles a week. And I really think the mileage increased, but it was just the intensity. That was the main thing, intensity of the workouts, hitting workouts harder and harder throughout high school. I think that was really kind of the main key. Going up in mileage happened just kind of naturally, but I didn't really feel a need to force it. I didn't feel any pressure to run high mileage or anything. And
Yeah.
I think everyone's different, so figuring out what works for you, and then trying to do a little more.
Sure, sure. Um, and so, for everyone out there watching, we grew up at 8,000 feet above sea level, so you have to take that into consideration with training, with the racing. It is different up there, even compared to Denver, which Denver's a little over 5,000. Like, that extra 3,000 feet of vertical does make a difference. And so basically, I do want to talk. So we'll fast forward kind of through high school to your senior year. How did you do your junior year of cross country? Remind me how you did junior year of cross country.
Um, Junior year of cross country, I mean, I think I did pretty well. I think I won my first race junior year
Mm,
in Leadville.
okay.
So it's funny. It's a little fuzzy trying to think back on it, but I think I won my first race junior year, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then, um, and then at state, I think I was maybe top 10 or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty decent. And then the winter going into track my junior year, I think that's when I could kind of tell things were starting to happen. I was starting to just, get a little stronger, get a little faster. And then, yeah, junior year of track, things started to go pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then senior year, do you remember? So I guess actually let's toss. Well, no, let's wait on that. I was going to ask for some of your PRs, but do you remember what we did? So your senior year cross country state meet, kind of the strategy going into that race. I don't know if I kind of remember it because I was helping coach a little bit, but yeah. Do you remember what we decided on that race for state cross country?
Like if there's a pack at a mile, if there's a pack at 2 miles, if I'm alone at 1 mile, if I'm alone at 2 miles, just kind of it's kind of running it. It's kind of a chess match, and you kind of have to think through the different options that are about to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that was really key. We kind of had a game plan, and basically what I remember is I think the first mile or so we were going to kind of chill and take it easy, not really break away by any means. And then like a mile and a half, it was just kind of put the hammer down and see who could hang. And
Yeah.
basically, I think a mile and a half in, there was me and one other guy. And then, yeah, just kind of ran the rest of the race by myself, and it worked out pretty well. But having those different options
Yeah.
ahead of time was really important.
So for everyone, for all the high schoolers out there watching, like we went to the state cross country course maybe 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before. Or, okay.
In the season. It was kind of we didn't our school didn't get to go to the pre-meet or the pre-state meet, so I had never seen the course because it was up in Fort Collins for the first time ever.
Yeah.
So I had never seen it. So yeah, it was kind of good to go see it and visualize it a little bit.
Yeah. So we previewed the course. So anyway, for all the high schoolers out there, maybe coaches too, like I'm a big advocate of at least in for a big cross state meet, like previewing the course if possible, and then anyway, basically I remember it was at one. So if you're like 5K is it's a good distance, but it's at the same time it is still it's fast, like it's short enough that you can hold that threshold pretty long. So I remember it was the mile we basically threw down and said, "All right, let's unleash here and see what happens." So Joseph ended up winning the state meet his senior year, and so that was awesome. But one thing, it was amazing. But one thing that's is I know that's why I titled this live stream with Footlocker, because so many are interested in Footlocker. Um, so many are interested in Footlocker, and for those that don't know, Footlocker, Joseph, did it start in like the late '70s? Does that sound right? I,
Year or something. So yeah, it's been around a while, and um, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It was a pretty cool way to finish out senior year of cross country.
yeah. Um, so basically, we yeah. So it's kind of the big dance for the entire country. And Joseph, how did you do at Footlocker?
I think I did pretty well. I don't know. It was quite the experience. I guess my senior year of cross country in Colorado, I went undefeated. I won every race, and then uh, went out to Footlocker Midwest in Wisconsin, and I think I got eighth. And so I was really excited just to qualify. Really, just getting top 10 was super exciting.
Yeah.
And then at the nationals, I ended up in I think I got 10th. So I think I did better than expected, fit going eighth at the Midwest, and then getting 10th at the nationals. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was pretty amazing. I remember it's wild. I mean, at Footlocker Midwest, I remember like halfway through the race, I looked over and there was a kid running next to me, and he only had one shoe on, and we were running through 5-6 inches of snow.
Wow.
And I forget his name, but I'd probably recognize it if I looked up the results. But I think he ended up getting 12th or so. Oh, he almost qualified still. And I mean, I barely beat the kid with one shoe. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing the talent that I was able to be around at that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely pretty cool, and there's a lot of opportunities out there, whether it's obviously Nike Cross, and then just the USATF cross country. Like there's a lot of different options out there. All right, so PRs from high school. Let's hear them. 5K, 1 mile, 2 mile. Now keep in mind okay, yeah, because I guess you did go to California, so yeah, let's hear some of these PRs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's key. I had one really good California race. So.
Yeah, just keep it in mind we're at elevation.
Oh no, I think actually something I kind of think is interesting and something for high schoolers to keep in mind. I ran the 200 all the way up to the 2 mile in high school. I did the 4x2 a number of times. Actually, I did the 200 more times than the 2 mile my senior year, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, 200, 400, 800, 1600. But yeah, I guess maybe that's something that happens only at small schools. But yeah, I don't know exactly what those times are, but I think in the 800 I ran, I think about 157 and about 420 in the mile. And then I ran 904 at Arcadia in California in the 2 mile. And, that was probably my best time, I guess. So from
Yeah,
high school.
yeah, yeah. And then what about the 5K? But it was at elevation, or no, sorry, was yeah. Whew. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So one thing to point out is that Joseph played basketball all 4 years of high school, and I'm telling you, like, if you're a high school like that sprinting up and down the basketball court, and you a point guard, or were you a sh- or-
So he was more point guard, and I just kind of played a lot of defense, really. So,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but yeah, I think something I just thought about too. Thinking about Arcadia, this last year, I think 30 high school boys went under 9 flat in the 2 miles. So I mean, I think I finished in 904. I think I finished like eighth or something, and it's just amazing how many fast kids there are in California. 30 kids going under 9 flat in one track meet that's hard for me to even believe. It's crazy.
It's sorry about the audio. I don't know what. Again, this is our first time, just so you know. So Joseph, sometimes it's when you're not on screen, people can't hear you for some reason. So I'm trying to do my best to. Seth, we can only hear him when we can see him. Yeah. So I'm trying to jump back and forth between. Yeah, you might have to pause just for 1 second. Sorry about that. So his PR 904 in the 2 mile, or the 3200. Yeah. So 9:04 and then 4:20 for the mile, and then about 15:25. And he was just saying that it's like and I don't know, actually at some point I think it will plateau, but compared to when you were racing, the depth is just unbelievable I think I saw that too, like 30 guys going under 9 minutes, which is just insane. So okay, good to know. Okay, cool. That's good. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. We're going to leave Joseph up and actually, yeah, so this is, again, we're just, actually, you know what? Let me try. No, I'm not going to mess with it. So, all right, so moving on. What advice would you give or what was your experience like with the whole recruiting process and what, I don't know, like what advice would you give for the whole recruiting process from high school to college?
I think I think really, if you're lucky enough to go to a high school that has experience with it, and find people that have been through the process, coaches and whatnot, even if it means outside of other sports. If you're a runner, but no one's been recruited from your high school for running, maybe you find someone on the football team or whatever. And it's it's kind of a daunting process. I think you really have to really understand what you want out of the college experience, what you want, what your expectations are, and just seek out feedback. It can be a daunting process. It's a little crazy. I think that there's a lot of excitement around it, but it can also it can get kind of nerve-wracking and stressful too. And I think just find people that you can trust to really give you what's up, because I don't know, it's kind of this back and forth sales process a little ways. And I don't know, the NCAA is a tricky beast. It's not it's not my favorite entity by any means, and I think that there's a lot of issues around it, and it's even tougher for runners.
Sure.
Because there's such limited resources and limited scholarships available, so it's tough.
Yeah. No, it is tough. I actually got to skip that process because I wasn't fast enough in high school, so I wasn't I wasn't recruited out of high school, but Joseph was. So, and I actually did skip over like one question that I back to high school real quick is like a solid workout that you just like felt like gave you great confidence going into a big race. Like, what was that key workout that you really loved?
I think one that really stands out, key workout, is mile repeats before Footlocker Midwest. I actually came down to Boulder and got to do them at low elevation at 5,000 feet and out at the Grange. And it's just, I can vividly picture that workout, actually, even more so than a lot of races. But I think in that workout, I set a new PR on the mile, and it was just basically a race simulation for Footlocker Midwest. And that was key. I think track wise, we did a lot of 200s actually in track, and part of that was because the 800 was pretty big for us, but the 4x8, lots of 200s, and that was brutal. We would do like 6x200, 8x200, race pace on a cinder track, and that's tons of speed from that. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's good to mix it up, and don't be afraid to go fast, go short and fast. Sometimes it's good to get that speed.
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of dealing with that right now with, as I talked about a couple days ago, everyone saw on the vlog, with just the yearning to run up mountains, but trying to get ready for a marathon and trying to figure out how to go fast again. So it's a balance. Now, Now, I do want to, so just so everyone knows, I want to open it up to Q&A here in a minute. So get your questions ready, and we'll dive into some open Q&A. But are you, I guess, like, what are you up to now with respect to racing and yeah, goals for 2019 and just your experience with if you want to dabble in the mountain running scene and like just yeah, what's going on now?
I kind of like you mentioned, with Nolan's 14, kind of bringing you back into running a little bit. I mean, that trail running and basically getting up on the mountains is really what sparked my interest again. I think I would say probably 95% of collegiate athletes after college need a break, and I definitely needed a break.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took some time, explored other things, got into rock climbing, got into cycling a little bit, but yeah, I think now I'm still really interested in the trails and trail running. I'm pretty happy to only race a few times a year, but we'll see. 2019 it
Yeah.
might change that a little bit. So yeah, hoping to run some good mountain races, around Colorado, maybe beyond as well. We've kind of started dreaming a little bit about some bigger race goals. So
Sure.
we'll see.
Sure, sure. Yeah, well, cool. Um, and I know we could talk all night. Is there anything else you want to touch upon with respect to running at all, or racing, or training, or anything that we didn't? Yeah, that we and then we'll let the questions stream in here. But yeah, anything else that you'd want to touch upon?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people really want like advice or anything. I remember
Sure.
like in high school, I always told myself that there's always someone else out there training harder. There's always someone else, out there. You got to think bigger than your high school, your county, whatever it is, your state even. You got to get motivated and know that there's always going to be someone out there working hard, and there's always someone to chase. So
Yeah.
I think running's super exciting. It's a global sport, as I think you've hit on with this YouTube group, and
Yeah.
uh, it's super exciting. And yeah, don't be afraid to put your eggs in one basket and really go for it. It's Mark Wetmore would always say, like, don't be well rounded, like just like really focus on something. And I don't know, it doesn't have to be your whole life, but for a little while, just really dedicate yourself to something and see what happens. And if it's running, I think that's cool, and if it's something else, that's cool too.
Yeah. 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 No, I mean, I think he said, "Don't be well-rounded, be one-sided." So,
Yeah, be like lopsided and one-sided, and I don't know. It's scary to really commit, 110% to something, but I don't know, if you do it for a little bit and see how it goes, it's pretty exciting. And I think you taught me a lot about visualizing. I think that's super important as well. Visualizing races, visualizing workouts. I mean, on easy days still I visualize races, and I think that takes away some of the nerves, and it just really gets yourself prepared to run well. So yeah, visualize and put
yeah,
yourself in the moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. All right, so I'm just gonna try something here. Um, there we go. Can you guys see that? So Jordan asked, "What is your favorite distance to race?" Then maybe what would be your favorite training run and what distance? So it's kind of a two-part question there. But yeah, I'll put you back on screen. And what do you think there?
Yeah, that's a good couple of questions. I mean, I feel like I think the best distance, the distance that I wish I could really race well at, is the 5K, the 5,000. I think that's the best distance. I think now though, like trail running wise, I really enjoy the 10K and half marathon. I still kind of like shorter stuff. Training runs, I mean, I think training runs, I would say like 12 to 15 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty solid distance for me. I think it's, I kind of often joke I'm kind of a miler stuck in a marathoner's body. I really do kind of like short stuff. And a lot of my mountain running, I'll go out for 5 or 6 hours, but it's kind of like a shorter. I don't necessarily run hard for 5 or 6 hours ever. I'll run hard for an hour and a half and then hike or scramble and stuff. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that all really makes sense, but
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. All right, so I'm gonna add Daniel here, and you guys can basically ask whatever you'd like. But Joseph, can you see these questions when I put this out? I I I said it's. Have you thought about trying to get a golden ticket for Western States? Which you probably almost just answered that, but yeah, I'll let you take it.
yeah, no, I think that's. I mean, I'm really not. I'm not super interested in ultra running right now, and maybe in a couple years. But yeah, I like shorter stuff. So
Yeah.
there's other. If I were to do an ultra, I would do something here in Colorado, probably just something up high at altitude. But yeah, no, Western States that's a pretty cool event from what I've heard.
And Trevor asked, "Have we entered a two-man relay race?" And I don't think we have really like an actual relay race. No. So someday, Trevor, we'll have to do that.
That's actually, I feel like that's actually something I'd be more interested in than like just a pure ultra, like a stage race. I think would be pretty cool, like 20 miles a day, like the Trans Rockies run, if you know about that event, Trevor. That's a cool race. I feel like a stage race would be pretty cool. I think I could handle, doing like 6 days of high mileage or whatever, more so than doing like a 100-mile run.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Um, all right, so the questions are coming in quick, and actually, I'm just going to jump over to YouTube to make sure. I forgot to mention this, but there is this super chat feature, just so everybody knows, where your comment can be highlighted. And I apologize. I hope I'm not missing any here. Just 1 second, real quick. Basically, this new software is. Let's see here. Thank you for your patience. Real quick, let me just double check here, make sure we're not missing any. All right, so I'm in YouTube now, everybody. All right, cool. Just looking at your chats there. That's awesome. Okay, so favorite running shoes, Joseph. What's your favorite running shoe?
My favorite running shoe to train in is the Nike Structure. I've trained in that since college, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's by far my favorite shoe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. And all right, another one. Who's faster right now from Alexis? Uh oh.
We're gonna find out next Saturday, so tune back in.
Exactly. So stay tuned on the vlog, everybody. We're racing up Aspen Mountain. It's a vertical K race. 2.5 miles or 3 miles? 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 miles.
Yeah, 2.5 miles. So that's good. And then Hiram asked, "Did you do a lot of trails in high school?"
Yeah, I did actually quite a bit. We grew up at 8,000 feet in the mountains and had a lot of trails right from our house. So, yeah, probably 2 or 3 times a week
Yeah.
on the trails. So, definitely staying on the dirt as much as possible. That was kind of a big change getting to Boulder, just being on pavement more.
Yeah.
So I was lucky. We were lucky to grow up, and we had a dirt track. We had dirt trails. So dirt is still try to stay on the dirt as much as possible.
Josh asks, Joseph, did you ever run a marathon PR? What's your half marathon PR? So yeah, I'll let you take that.
We've done some. We've both done some trail marathons.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell you the times. And no, I don't know.
So
I
Josh, yeah, we kind of basically Josh, we kind of skipped over the road marathon scene, and now as a 33-year-old, I'm coming back. I'm coming back in distance and trying to figure out what my marathon PR is gonna be this year. So I'm sure Joseph will give it a go at some point. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. We kind of skipped that step a little bit, didn't we, Joseph?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see here. I know I missed some questions, and I apologize. I'm just sorting through here. Let's see here. And how Trevor asked, how old are you, and do you think it is possible to PR in the 5K now?
I'm 28, and yeah, I think it is still possible. My 5K PR isn't that impressive, so that helps. If I was to go to sea level and get in a fast race, I think I could. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and Nathan asks, and this I use it. Your coach is going to have to come out here coaching. He said, tips for breaking 10 in the 3200. Currently with 35 to 40 miles a week. Previous PR is 10:20, so he wants to break.
Okay.
He wants
Oh,
to
nice.
break 10. Yeah, Nathan, that's a solid time.
Nice. I think, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think you're definitely, I mean, 10:20, you're real close. I think going out, faster, I guess. So what would be, so basically 2 5-minute miles. So yeah, if I think going out in 450 or something, kind of take a risk a little bit and then see what you can hold on to. And you'll be right under there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Nice. No, that's good. And thank you for these great questions, everybody. They're rolling in, rolling in. I love it. Um, let's see here. I saw something about the Olympics. I don't know if you want to make any predictions for. This is from Jordan. He asked, "Who are you calling for the 2020 Olympic marathon?" And I don't know if Joseph's following the world marathon scene as close as I am. But you want
Yeah,
to?
I'm not, but I don't know. I think maybe I would say from the U.S. I think like Galen Rupp will probably qualify again, and maybe Parker Stinson.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Jared Ward. He seems pretty cool, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, I really don't have too much knowledge though on in terms of so I'm not the best running fan.
Yeah. I no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, I know we need to. Well, here's one idea I have for everybody watching is we're gonna do I think a live stream, like a live watch party for the London Marathon and the Boston Marathon coming up. Probably, yeah, just where we'll watch live and we'll talk about it as it's going on. Kind of geek out about the marathon running. And so Johnny asked here. Let's just see here if I can get this on screen. And I don't know how this is showing up on YouTube. But like, is everybody seeing this text showing up here? Is that how are you seeing it, Joseph?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. No, I am seeing it. That's awesome.
So Johnny asked, "Are you nervous for your uphill race next week? Any strategy or hopes for the podium?"
I am pretty nervous. I have run this race a couple of times, and it is very hard. So it's such a unique race. It's just straight uphill the entire way, and it's on snow, obviously in the winter. So I've done it in the summer when it's on dirt, which is a little easier. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
hard. It's basically 50 minutes of pain. So I think
yeah.
it's natural to be a little nervous for that.
Yep, yep. And Daniel asked, "Where did you go to college?" Which I guess we didn't dive too much into that, but yeah, I'll let you take that there.
Yeah, I went to University of Colorado, same as Seth in Boulder. So
So we
yeah,
actually,
go Buffs.
yeah, so we actually overlapped for basically a semester, so that was pretty sweet. I'm 5 years older, right? So,
Yep,
so yeah, we,
yep.
we actually got to overlap while we were there. And the rec runner asked, "Will you be going to support Seth at the Cleveland Marathon?" And I don't think so. I'll take that one, rec runner. Basically, True Love is coming out and Baby Michael, but anyway, but that would be everyone could meet Joseph. That it sounds like there's going to be quite a contingent from the Cleveland area that's going to be in the it's like this is going to be a good opportunity to meet up and hang out, and we'll do I don't know about a shakeout before the race, but definitely after the race we'll do a little cool down and Go get some food and drink. How's that sound for everybody? So, okay, diving back in here. Um, let's see. I think I missed one about training. Oh yeah. So I don't know. It's a little tough here, but here we go. Whom asked tips for getting speed faster for the 400. This is because my aerobic base is strong, but I'm lacking speed. Interesting. So I'll let you, maybe dive into that.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess if you have, like you're saying, a pretty solid aerobic base, that's awesome. And you know, a good way to get faster at a certain distance is to just go shorter. So if you want to get faster at the 400, then you run, hundreds, 200s. If you want to get faster at the marathon, you run milers, 3Ks, things like that. So kind of work your way, just build that top end speed a bit. I don't have really good specific workouts, but yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, cool. And I'm gonna add Tom here. He asked, "What was the dirtiest, muddiest, or most miserable or coldest race of your life, or that was the most challenging? What? Well, yeah,
Oh,
the worst condition race. I think I have one, but I'll let you go for it.
let's see. What's yours? I don't know. That's worst conditions.
I mean, I think it was probably a race in Colorado Springs where it just was I think it was a 10 miler, but I was probably about 12 years old and it was muddy and it was one of like the Pikes Peak Road Runners and I was like so small and just like carrying mud.
Yeah.
It was so horrible. But anyway,
Oh,
that's
man.
one that jumps out at me. Um,
Yeah. We definitely have a mixture up here. I think some of the long runs at CU, those were some of the toughest races I was ever a part of. So,
yeah. And so, just for everyone joining, I'm talking, and I'll bring myself back up on screen here. So, just for everyone joining, this is our first attempt at a live stream where I'm interviewing someone. And of course, it had to be my brother for the first one. So, this is my brother, Joseph. He lives about 3 hours away from where I'm at. And we've both been running for years and years and years. And basically, we're going to be racing next weekend, this uphill race where it's going to be so. Joseph, I guess, so what's going to happen, everybody, is it's going to be runners and skiers. So you go up a ski mountain, but Joseph, could you break down like how many total participants and then how many do you think will be skiing and how many do you think will be running? And then also there's some questions coming in about what shoes we're going to be wearing. So anyway, I'll put you back on screen here. There you go.
okay, nice. Yeah, yeah, good questions. Yeah, it's a pretty unique race because it's open to different divisions. So you can have an AT setup, or you can just be in shoes. You can use micro spikes. I guess you could use snowshoes as well. It might be really snowy, so maybe people will be using snowshoes. And it's probably maybe 60-40 skiers to runners. Aspen's a ski town, and I think it's a lot of skiers will be there, and it's not a huge race. Probably 100, 150 people or so, but it's pretty competitive still, and yeah, it should be fun. It's a brutal race. If anyone has a vertical K race near them, I mean, definitely try it. It's wild.
Yeah. Okay. Crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating. Of course, we'll be filming, along not along the way, but before and after, and then at the top of the mountain. And I think we're both going to use poles. That was a question that came in, so that's a good question. And let's see. And then Daniel asked, Daniel, just so I'll just add it here. We did not finish Nolan's 14. We attempted it, and that's a story probably for another. That's a story for another day. But Daniel, we who knows if we'll be back. But Joseph, I don't know if you want to talk about the 14ers, but if you want to talk a little bit. All right. So here, people, if you want some draw jaw-dropping information. Joseph, what have you done in the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years here in Colorado?
Let's see. Yeah, I have gotten pretty into the into 14ers, and we grew up around 14,000 foot peaks, so it's kind of been a part of our lives, our entire lives. But yeah, I finished all of them, summiting 58 highest peaks, which is a pretty cool project. That's really where my dedication has been the last couple of years. That, and there's a group of peaks called the Centennials, so it's the 100 highest, and getting close on those as well. And yeah, that's really where my passion is at. I think when maybe people were wondering why I don't race very much, it's because that's, pretty much every weekend is going on these trips. So summiting these different peaks, and I think it should be put on the record too that no one's 14. We did dream that up before we even knew that that was a real thing. We dreamed it up a while ago, and you back in the day did sections of it, and it was way before it was a
Popular.
thing. So
Yeah.
it's pretty popular now, and I think we both have lost interest a little bit, and I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's tough. If you compare it to other ultras, it's up there with the toughest 100 miles I think you can do really anywhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. So we've attempted it, and it's tough. It's tough. And there's another question from Josh, and I hope these are showing up for you. I don't know. Yeah, again, we're just figuring this out as we go, everybody. So ironing it out. But basically, Josh asked about the Berkeley Marathons, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, all these kind of crazy, obscure mountain adventures are now very sought after, and for good reason. Like, the Berkeley is a very special thing, and I think they're protecting it pretty well, so it doesn't change, even though like the media coverage is just insane. But like, it now, there's a new documentary every 6 months, it seems like, about the Berkeley Marathons. And Josh, to answer on my end, like, I would love to try. I know it's hard to get in and just to figure out the application, and but it does seem like a special, Lazarus is his name, I believe, or his nickname. And it's like a special community. At the same time, though, it's a little tough because it's like you're breaking into this community of people that are like very. Some of the people there have been doing it for over 20 years, and there's a guy in Colorado actually who's done it like 15 years in a row. So anyway, but yes, I'm interested. I don't know what you think, Joseph, about Berkeley.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Berkeley would be awesome. I forget who asked earlier about Western states, but yeah, I'd be much more interested in something like Berkeley's.
Yeah.
I just think it's wild and has a really cool culture. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So, and Trevor asked, do we have to walk back down Aspen Mountain when we're done? No, let's hope not, Trevor. Well, yeah, I'll let you answer, Joseph.
No, well, yeah, there's a gondola, so we'll ride that back down, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, cool, everybody. Any other questions out there? And again, so yeah, any other questions that come in from here forward, we will answer. And we could, of course, okay, there we go. Interesting. We could, of course, talk all night, share stories all night about Footlocker, the University of Colorado, Buena Vista High School. Like, we could talk about running all night, but I always want to respect everyone's time. And so any other questions for us, and anything else that comes in, we will answer from here forward. But yeah, just thank you for, of course, being here. And it looks like the most important thing is that you can hear us. So this is a good step in the right direction. And Joseph, I just want to pitch to you that I think my next live interview, where I interview someone live, I want to interview Mike Wardian. Have you heard what he did recently? he did the 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. Um, have you heard of this guy?
Yeah, is it Iron Mike? That is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah, it'd be pretty amazing. Those guys that are able to string together big days like that. It's kind of hard for me to fathom.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and Joseph, I'm not sure if you know this, but a guy in Japan is part of the DeMoor Global Running Crew on Strava. So if you're not joined up, everyone, feel free to jump in. But there's a guy in Japan who has run a marathon for 92 days in a row, and his goal is to run 100 in a row. And so he's from Japan and he's doing it. So and he's part of the crew on DeMoor Global Running. He's like putting in like 200-mile weeks right now or whatever. It's just insane. Okay, so the questions are coming in quick here. So we're gonna go with Sohum. First, what was your freshman high school mile PR? Like that's, whew, that's going back. But if you can if you can remember your freshman high school mile PR.
I'm gonna I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't really know, but I think it was about 450. So a 455. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
that sounds good. And Johnny asks, what shoes are we gonna wear next weekend for the race?
I think I'm gonna wear the speed crosses. So yeah, the Solomon speed crosses.
Yeah. And I don't know yet if I'll do the Arctic Claw from Innovate or if I'll do the Speed Cross 5 as well. Like, yeah, I mean, I think they're both like the lugs. I mean, here's the thing. If the snow is really soft, micro spikes, correct me if I'm wrong, Joseph, but they're not really going to help that much. You know, it's
It's
more.
kind of yeah, it's going to be a tricky. There's going to be a lot of snow this whole week, and so yeah, I don't know really about micro spikes or anything, but
Yeah.
I think the Arctic claws or the speed crosses would probably be. I bet we'll see a lot of them out there. So
Yeah. And Daniel asked, what did you place in the past for the vertical K, Joseph?
um, that's a good question. I think in the summer one time I think I got about fourth. And Daniel, if you're familiar with Joe Gray and Andy Wacker, those guys were in that race, and they're pretty they're beastly on uphills, and then in the winter, I think I was about to say maybe fifth or so, and that one was at night. So this is kind of my first time doing it in the winter during the day, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. They have it. They have a few different versions of this same race. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. And Josh, thank you for that. Yes, Gary Cantrell. I hope to is Laz. So thank you for that, Josh. I hope to meet him at some point, and yeah, just to share war stories. Let's see. And I think Kurt asked any tips for running well downhill on the trails. That's from Kurt. Ooh, that's a good one, Kurt. I love that question. Because I do a lot of it, and so do you, Joseph. But I don't know if you want to take a stab at it. Yeah,
I think uh, it's something I'm actually trying to always get better at because my back kind of tightens up on hard downhills, and if it's technical, actually I think if it's technical, it actually kind of helps me. But if it's just like a real fast straight downhill, like my back kind of tightens up, but I think it's always you don't want to fight gravity as much as you can. You kind of want to let gravity pull you down the hill and keep your form good so that you're not just like pounding your knees. You kind of want to stay on your toes, but yeah, it's hard. Running downhill is actually pretty hard.
and for anyone in Europe, I've heard from our old CU teammate Andy Wacker, who Joseph just mentioned. I've heard that the Europeans are some of like it's a different level of commitment to the downhill running, and like it's like they just I don't know, it's a little more I don't want to say dangerous, but they just kind of let loose a little more. And I have found like if I'm racing or if I'm going for a FKT, a fastest known time, that I will it's almost safer to go like a little faster, as long as you're really focused and you're not like passing people and dogs and there's no one in your way, and you can just like, rather than kind of overthink it, it's like you just get into this flow going downhill where if you pick up the speed just a little bit, it can actually, in my mind, sometimes it actually almost feels more fluid and more a little less likely to catch a toe. But man, as far as technique goes, man, good sunglasses so you can see the good sunglasses so you can see the depth of field. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you got to yeah, you got to practice it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Takes practice.
Caleb asked, favorite daily trainer of all time, past or present. I think you kind of already answered that, but you can take it again.
Yeah, the Nike Structure for sure.
Yep. Oh, and Daniel, thank you for the super chat. You're the best. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Daniel. And then let's see here. Angie, thanks for being here. And let's see. I think from Jordan, and Jordan, I believe, is in high school. So, have you ever had a negative or maybe cool encounter with an animal while out running? Yeah.
I have had a lot actually. Nothing. I wouldn't say anything really too negative, except I really don't like snakes. I think Jordan, you're from Longmont, so you're not too far from Boulder, and came across a rattlesnake one time in South Boulder, and that was pretty horrible.
Yeah.
I really hate snakes. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen some pretty cool animals up in the mountains, and yeah, that's definitely a pretty cool part of getting out on the trails.
Yep. And then maybe probably last one here. Tanner asked, how many miles do you put into shoes before you retire them?
It it kind of varies on
Yeah.
if we can afford shoes, but no, I've gone up 800 miles on a pair of trainers. I think normally though, usually around 500, so 500, yeah. 600. But if you're injury prone or if you start getting hot spots or anything weird in your feet, I wouldn't push it that far. Maybe 400 miles or so. It kind of varies by your form and if you're injury prone or not.
Yeah. I always say, like, you want to get at least 250 out of a shoe. Like, if a shoe's breaking down before 250, it's almost like, I won't go back to it. But, and then if you start approaching like 400 and 450, it's like, okay, they knew, like, they built a good shoe here. That's kind of my range. So anyway, awesome. Let's see here. We got people, Joseph, we got people watching from Israel and all over the place. So thanks for being here, everybody. Cool. And shout out to Colin and Johnny. And we've been going about an hour, so this is great. Thanks for, Joseph, I'll let you say goodbye, and then I'll maybe say something.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, thanks, everyone, and great questions. And I kind of didn't add this earlier, but I had a really solid support system, had a really good coach. So that's really number one reason for any success that I had. So it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, thanks for tuning in.
Man, no, it's good. Thanks, man, for taking the time. And Joseph's a busy guy, so... and if you're in high school, and you got teammates, and, feel free to share this, the replay of this. It'll be live on the channel here as soon as I hit stop. Because, yeah, it'll take maybe 5 minutes to process, but then it'll be live for you, and you could share it around. And yeah, we'll try and do more of this. So yeah, Mike Wardian is hopefully going to be the next live interview. The gentleman who ran 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. So putting Joseph and I kind of to shame. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think, it'd be cool. I'd love to come back, delve into some topics a little deeper, but yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. No, thanks for being here, and appreciate it. And yeah, thank you all for being here and for taking the time. And as we always say, seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys soon. We'll be doing a live stream this Wednesday, by the way, just so you know. So, you guys are the best. Thanks for being here.